and all the media friends. So today, in the IOM announced to the in this morning, in the Honorable Chief Minister and inaugurated our new plant in Chennai. Our Chennai plant in the total investment in the 1,500 crore and 3,900 people employment. Along with the Yamaha, 9 vendor park member is coming. Then their total investment is 1,000 crore. 1,000 with total 9 vendors. That is the final situation so far on the way, because our target of the total production in 2018 in the 1.8 million here in Chennai. This moment is 0.45 million, 4.5 lakhs capacity is already we have prepared. Then this moment in the fully started operations. But that is a general.
If so, what would be the share? How much export you are looking at it? How much domestic you are looking at it?
Not only the domestic market, we are looking foreign countries business. Of course, already some export business are started from Chennai.
So total, we have the 25% export in the north and the south. But south plant is only the model so far, scooter, and now are Lazy, R-A-Y-Z, then Ray, R-A-Y, Cygnus Alpha, then latest model in the Fascino. Plus, this is total scooter. 4 type of the scooter already started. Then one motorcycle named Salute 125cc is launched here. Then Saluto, S-A-L-U-T-O. Then now in the Chennai plant, also we are focusing on the export. But so far, CBU, complete vehicle, is the only export from the Chennai. All the model, if necessary to export for the CBU model, that one is from the Chennai. Remaining model is still from the north, as well as complete knockdown model is only from the north.
I expect the 30% of production will be exported.
Which are the countries? How many countries you are looking at?
Up to now, we exported not only products but also components, more than 50 countries. So mainly South America and South.
Seat. I don't know if some of you sitting in the back might want to come forward. Be easier to ask questions if you come forward. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this Canada session here at the Tamil Nadu Global Investors Meet. I'm Sidney Frank. I'm the Consul General for Canada in South India, the first Consul General for Canada in South India. We're really honored to be a partner in this Global Investors Meet, the first here in Tamil Nadu. A very exciting day yesterday, an amazing inauguration, and we were very pleased with the contacts that we made in the afternoon yesterday at the Canada and Quebec booth. We've had a long-standing and diverse relationship with India. We have shared values of democracy and pluralism. In fact, we have 1.2 billion Canadians of Indian origin. They've made a huge contribution to the economic, political, and cultural life of Canada, and we're looking to see our relationship expand. Recently, our partnership with India has improved. We've gone to a strategic level in our partnership, and that's as a result of a very successful visit of Prime Minister Modi in April of 2015. Our trade in 2014 was $6.3 billion. We're looking at expanding that trade, and we believe there's a great deal of scope for commercial cooperation with India. India has certain strategic goals, and we believe Canada can help India meet those goals. In the past, our focus in India historically has been in the north, and as I mentioned, I'm the first Consul General here in South India. Opening a large consulate general in South India is indicative of our desire to expand in South India and to increase our partnerships here. We believe Tamil Nadu is an excellent place to do business. We have many companies here already, and we would like to increase our collaboration with Tamil Nadu. We have here today Canadian companies that we'd like to showcase for you, and we hope that you will see the strengths that Canadian companies can offer. We have sessions on innovation in energy, sessions on IT, and an additional session on infrastructure. Canadian companies are known for their innovation. I've been just hearing things even this morning about some of the innovative work that they're doing. We think we do quite exceptional work. Canadian companies are also known for the quality of their work and for their integrity, and we're proud of Canadian companies for those reasons. I don't want to take too much time. I have here with me today the Minister Commercial from our office in Delhi, Mr. Brian Parrott. Mr. Parrott is going to speak to you briefly about Canada's commercial strategy here in India, and then from that we'll move on to 3 panels with our Canadian companies. I wish you a very successful morning, and I hope you find this of value for you. Brian, over to you.
Thanks, Sidney. Et bonjour tout le monde. C'est mon grand plaisir d'être ici avec vous. As Sidney said, I'm going to try and outline very quickly what our strategies are for the Indian marketplace. Just for those that may not know, Canada actually has 8 offices across India, from Chandigarh to Bangalore and Chennai. We have an office in Amritsar, of course Delhi, Mumbai, and Kolkata and Hyderabad. So we're well positioned in the Indian market. And the reason is that India is a priority market for us in Canada because we're trying to diversify our trade across the globe. Right now, when we look at Canada, it's a very open economy, and it depends very much on trade and investment. And so our objectives in the Trade Commissioner Service are to really help Canadian companies expand across the globe. And India, being such an enormous market, is one where we have put a lot of effort and priority. And we've all heard about how the Indian market, of course, is growing and will leapfrog many other nations with its GDP. Canada's trade, for example, it is responsible for about 2/3 of our GDP, so it's a very important reason. And we're trying to diversify away from the United States, where right now we export about 70% of our product. So in this respect, we're continuing to work and develop. So what does this mean for Canada? Well, as Sydney said, Prime Minister Modi came to Canada last April, just 5 months ago, and one of the quotes that I picked up from his comments was that basically Canada has what India needs. And so we're really trying to focus on that and what is it that India needs. So specifically, the areas that we've decided and we think we need to continue on is with respect to energy. And on energy, energy security is extremely important to India, and Canada has, some people have called Canada an energy superpower. We've got traditional resources in oil and gas. We've got fantastic technologies in renewable energy, and we have fantastic companies that deliver services across the energy sector. So we're really focused on assisting and driving energy, and you'll hear a little bit more about how some of that technology is coming into this space in India with innovative ideas and quality. The second area that we're focusing on is agriculture, and that's really picking up on food security needs of India. Right now, Canada supplies, for example, 30% of the imported lentils and peas that come into this marketplace. The scope for that is enormous. We heard yesterday from the Tamil Nadu government that there's great scope for increase there. But it's not just the raw products. It's canola, for example, a healthy alternative to oils like palm and other oils. And so we're trying to increase our exports of our exports of canola oil because of the health benefits that it offers the Indian marketplace. We're also looking at processed foods and looking at to find ways into the marketplace. So we're assisting Canadian companies in that regard. And Digital India, and the other area that we're focusing on is Digital India, priority of the Modi government. Canadian companies have tremendous technology in that space that can help the Indian governments and companies achieve their goals with respect to Digital India. The fourth area that we're focusing on it's a huge area, is infrastructure. And that's infrastructure from roads to railways and to the built environment, which means it picks up on the smart city concept that's being promoted so much in India, where we're talking about wastewater treatment, water services, Digital India in terms of the Internet of Things, all of these sorts of things that Canadian companies have tremendous technology and tremendous capability in. So that's the fourth area. And education and skills training, certainly we've heard a lot about that in the Indian marketplace, how the number of universities is significant in India, but to get into those universities is extremely difficult. And so Canada offers an alternative to train Indians, and we're working more and more to see Canadian colleges and skill development institutions come into the marketplace. And finally, we've all heard the clarion cry for Make in India, and where we're focusing that is really in sort of value-added manufacturing. And believe it or not, there's over 300 Canadian companies that have a footprint in India, and many of those are in the value-added manufacturing space, and you'll hear from a number of those companies today. And we're well invested. If you look at a map of India and you look at where Canadian companies are located, they actually span the entire continent or subcontinent of India. As Sid said, the theme that we're pushing through this is that Canadian companies are bringing to you innovation, and those innovative ideas come from the tie-ups between Canadian universities and small and medium-sized businesses that are relying on the energy and the innovation that comes out of those universities. So we have a very strong SR&D tax credit in Canada. And so one of the other aspects of our job, not only is it to promote trade into Canada, but we're looking, or trade out of Canada, but we're looking for investment into Canada. And Canada, we can certainly talk a little bit about that, because Canada does have strong universities, strong educated workforce, low corporate tax rates, strong tax credits for R&D, and it's a well-developed economy to welcome investors into Canada. With that, I'll just turn it over to Stanley. I just want to finish off by saying that the three areas that we're focusing on, innovation, quality, and in business integrity. And business, when you're dealing with a Canadian company, you're going to get a transparent company, you're going to get strong business ethics. And that's not just because Canadian companies are compelled to do that by law in Canada, and that law extends across the globe, but it's because there's a compelling reason for companies to undertake that. Responsible business practices are important for their employees, for their customers, and for society in general. So you'll hear some of these ideas coming through in our panel discussions, and I believe Stanley, where are you? There you are. Stanley Gomes, my colleague, and I should just point out Stanley's here. He's our Senior Trade Commissioner in Bangalore, and Subra, is she in the room? There she is there. She's based here in Chennai, and as I said, we have 8 offices. We have a team of 50 people across. Anytime you've got a question, come and see us. We can assist you in finding Canadian companies, finding partners for you, or what have you. So Stanley, you call up your first panel, I guess.
So while the name tags are coming up, Ravi, from Bioceres, Brock, where are you, Brock? From New Life, Deepak. Yeah, come on up. Deepak from Sentinel Waste, and Mr. Karthika from Questor. Gentlemen, thank you very much for being here this morning with us. A very good morning to you, and welcome to all our guests at the seminar here today. This particular session is going to be focused on innovation. And the reason I say innovation is because all the companies that are sitting here have 2 objectives in mind: innovate, create new jobs, increase your footprint globally, and congratulations to all of you for this achievement to date. What I wanted to bring out in this session is a few things about your companies. How do you see innovation playing into your company strategy? And of course, your primary focus on India and what is it here. So Ravi, if I may kindly start with you, what brings you to India?
What brings us to India is 3 things. One, as was mentioned, one is energy security. There's a whole reliability component, and renewables. Renewables is the way to go in the architecture. So when you look at the discretization of energy that's taking place due to digital and other things, India and the Far East actually have a far better potential of smart grid, because you can lever off new systems and new architectures, new business models, as opposed to a traditional legacy system that we may have in other parts of the world. So very excited to be here, the high knowledge that's there. I was the chair of the Shastri Institute on the Canadian side, so 36 universities across each was a big one for us. We'd hope to leverage all those types as well.
Now, you're in a bit of a different track, right? Everybody is looking at creating energy. And you're looking at this in a different angle than most people are. You're saying conserve energy, use it wisely, and use the grid and the technologies that support the grid differently. Tell us a little bit about that, please.
Yeah, it's absolutely vital. India adds about 58,000 megawatts per year. And in every discussion, if you actually do energy conservation, even in Ontario, we've got a huge energy conservation program. And it actually helps in the resiliency of the grid for higher renewables to be used. So it's very important that we bring in there every aspect. Like yesterday, we were having discussion last night. If you reduce 0.5 or 500 watts per home in Tamil Nadu, 5,000 megawatts can be released for the growth. So there is a growth, and you feed that growth through that low footprint. You take the Nilgiris where it's not connected to the grid. We believe with our technology, you can actually achieve the lifestyle of an urban home by using just 3 solar panels or 4 solar panels. And you get a refrigerator, you can get a freezer, you get fans, you get lights, not just lights, because right now everybody thinks of rural India as just 2 LED lanterns. You can actually have a functional home or a functional marketplace. So that's economic development. And all that comes from a conservation philosophy.
So that genesis of that idea has come from your work you've done in Ontario.
Correct. In
So
fact,
tell us a little bit about that.
Ontario, we began, I used to work for a utility. I was the head of R&D when I was pulled into it. We actually, it's almost a land of plenty. Canada, resource rich. But yet we took the opposite. We actually went into smart grid. We are the only jurisdiction that has full smart meters, 100%. We are the only jurisdiction that has a time of use rate to bring the market rates into the daytime tariffs and nighttime tariffs. We're the only ones to have actually introduced a feed-in tariff program, slightly different from what you folks are doing, but feed-in tariff program that drove the whole renewable energy. And we are also the only jurisdiction to have done 20% of our next supply on the 20-year plan comes from conservation. Big bet on the market, and we are well on the way to it. So conservation is not something that we're just speaking about, we've done it. And the last but certainly not the least, 9,000 megawatts of coal-fired plants has been eliminated in Ontario. 9,000 megawatts, that was almost like 30%. And renewables have been kept up and up and up. So a big transformation in Ontario where over the last 13, 14 years, we've actually worked in that system. And we believe, we can actually transfer or at least partake in some discussions in that area.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for that insight. I know, having spent a big part of my life in Ontario, that this is something that the government started 15, 20 years ago, and it's great to see that fruition come through. Thank you very much. Mr. Mantri, let me turn over to you, and your company, Sentinel Waste, is looking at India in a big way. From many discussions that we've had over the 6-8 months, this looks like a very interesting market for you. Tell me a little about your company and its technology.
Good morning, everybody. And Sentinel Waste, we are a company started in 1999 in Ontario, Canada. And we are into waste to energy technology. It's a very innovative technology, and it's patented in US, Canada, and Europe. Our first plant started in 2008 in one region of Ontario, which is like part of GTA, with a 500-ton per day plant. What we do it's a process fuel technology where we take the waste as is, and through our process we segregate all the negative glasses, PVC, dirt and everything, and metals and non-ferrous metal also being segregated. And then we produce with the waste, we convert that through our pellet mills into pellet, which is kind of replacement of coal, being used for power plant, being used for cement plants, being used for heat. In Ontario we used for heating.